welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me today is Trisha Ghoshal and Ishan Shahane. You can hear the birds chirping, meaning Ishan is in Barbados, and he's joining us live from there right after India's practice session, where apparently a lot happened, and the biggest talking point is obviously Sanju Samson having a prolonged batting session. Ishan, first of all, before we get to talking about Sanju Samson, because there are quite a lot of possibilities open for him to come into the playing 11 now. But before that, give us a lowdown on what really happened in the practice session. Give us the updates.
Yes, so Rohit and Virat Kohli were batting for a long time. Both of these two had an extended batting session. They were facing, they're taking the throwdowns, facing the bowlers. Khalil Ahmed was a part of the practice session as well. Of course, it was an optional practice session, so not everyone attended. But it got started off with Rohit and Virat, and obviously Jadeja also actually went on to bat first today to give him to basically just give some sort of batting practice for him as well. And I think the Indians, what they are trying to focus on is trying to use Jadeja as much as possible. Of course, he is an extremely crafty bowler, but they want to try and bring out the best of him as a batsman as well. So I feel getting Jadeja, giving him that sort of batting practice has really helped. And of course, Rohit and Virat, who have seen batting for a long time, they were taking a lot of drills, batting extensively in the practice session. Both of them not being in the best of form in this T20 World Cup, so I think it's important. And it was nice to see both of them out there. I feel, two senior members, two superstars of that side, putting in the effort when it's required, and it was very refreshing. And of course, Sanju Samson is the biggest talking point here, Gagi. A lot has been spoken that maybe that he might take Shivam Dube's place. But I think after this practice session, he can almost be confirmed. Not confirmed, almost. I think there is a big opportunity for him. Shivam Dube has not had the best T20 World Cups. He's had a great IPL, but I think he might have to make way for Sanju Samson. He was seen batting in the nets, again an extensive session. And I think this suggests that, there is an opening and he might take Dube's place.
Trisha, like I said, before we get to talking about Sanju Samson, there's quite a funny message that was dropped in our working group with our colleague when Debashi was telling us who showed up for the practice session, and one of our colleagues sent a message and it said it's all the players that are either not in the team or are not in form, which is quite true, honestly. But do you think because this was an optional practice session right after one day they have played a match, of course they travel to a different location as well. So this was not really needed. But with Rohit Sharma and Virat showing up, do you think it's because they're trying to get into rhythm at this point because they haven't been that much?
Absolutely. I think after we sealed the victory against Afghanistan, of course, India is almost certain of going to the semi-finals because honestly, you don't expect them to lose to Bangladesh. If that happens, again, not underestimating anyone, but with the kind of batters and bowlers we have, if we lose to Bangladesh, it is completely us to be blamed. Or
Absolutely.
they must have played fantastic cricket. I'm open to both, but it ideally wouldn't happen, right? And I think there was a question from Muthu. Yes, Muthu, before you joined us, I think Ishan was telling us, yes, any signs of Samson practicing to replace Shivam? Yes. Today's practice, in fact, was all about Samson, as Ishan said. Gargi, there are certain people who badly need practice, and among them, I think, yes, Deepak, I feel Sanju will be playing. But here, there's another interesting twist. First, let me finish what Gargi asked. So, I
Yeah.
really think that Rohit and Kohli now, when we are at the business end, need to do much better. Like, need to do something. The 20s, the 25s are not going to give you a good start. They have to give you a good start. And the other thing, why I think. And I'm picking this out from what Ishan said because Ishan is at Barbados along with Debashish covering all the practices. Ishan, bro, can we expect any vlogs from Antigua? Oh my God, they have been sending vlogs. Muthu, you
Absolutely,
really need
absolutely.
to watch
We've been
our
sending
videos.
some, yes, we have been sending some vlogs and we'll send you some more as well. You can expect a lot more actually. Right after this practice session, we'll be going to shoot a color story and we'll also try including like a really nice vlog there as well.
Yeah, Ishan, I don't think you should say color story. It's a term between us. They'll
Okay.
think you and Debashish are coloring something and putting up a story. but
He, but
one thing.
I'll explain to everyone in layman's term. Anything that is colorful or anything that brings color to your life, any sort of video
Oh,
like that is a
yes.
color story.
And when you're in the
Absolutely.
Caribbean, a lot of things are colorful. So you can
Oh,
expect
it's
a lot of things.
beautiful. The sky is right behind you. Oh my God.
I know.
Um,
We should
uh,
let Ishan talk and get
Ishan
his
Bhai,
story.
tell Mama after India victory against Bangladesh, give their fans a banana tree. Last time they were laughing at us in the World Cup 23 final loss.
it's okay. Let them laugh.
Let them laugh. Yeah.
Amit, what matters is the last laugh. But Ishan, again, going back to the practice, Gargi, I actually realized something interesting from what Ishan said, or I picked up something interesting that they are giving a lot of batting to Jadeja. Is that what you said?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So they,
Yeah.
Jadeja actually started.
So here's what I'm thinking. Now you remove Shivam Dube and bring in Sanju Samson, which means your batting order looks like this: Rohit Virat righties, Rishabh left hand, Surya Kumar righty again. And if you send in Samson, then you have Surya, Samson, Hardik. Again, three continuous righties. So that is where I think, they are giving more batting practice to Jadeja because they are looking at Sky, Jaddu, Hardik Samson, or if they have to send Samson up, then before Hardik, you might see Jadeja coming up because they will try to shuffle that left right combination. Because once you remove Dube and add Samson, that one extra righty batter is getting added in your lineup, and you don't want three righty batters in the middle order because what that eventually does is, be it Shakib Al Hassan, be it a Adam Zampa, it becomes very easy for those middle over spinners to control their own line and length because you don't have to change the sides. You don't have to think that, okay, if I bowl this, I have to bowl the other way for the left hander. So I think that is where Jadeja is getting a lot of the batting. Sorry.
Absolutely. And, Ishan, I want you to talk about anything that you like because I just want to see those. Why is this going away? Just a
Hey,
second. Someone has. Yeah.
it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. Rohan will do the needful. He's there. I think he's just experimenting. Yeah.
Yes, Ishan, we all want to see the blue skies behind you. So I'll ask a question. Let's get something from the comment section, actually. Yes.
Sure.
So Akash Kalita here is saying, hi Gargi, hi Ishan. My, my thinking is that Jaiswal should open with Kohli and Rohit should go down to 5. He can play a good knock in number 5. Lefty opener is deadliest. Ishan, do you think it's time for these wild experimentations at this point in the
Not
World
right
Cup?
now. Definitely not right now, Gagi. I think even yesterday we had mentioned that this batting order should not be changed and sending Rohit Sharma down to 5, that's a bit too much. I mean, we would have thought maybe number 3, but number 5 is just a bit too much. And it's at the moment when you're playing in the Super 8 stages, you don't experiment so much. The team has done well. They already won, the last 2 games. So it's not like they've lost any games. So it's not like too many drastic changes have to be made. So again, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. Let's come back to the same point here that these two are top batters. They've just not had the best start to the World Cup at the moment. Both of them can, get a lot of runs once they get going. It's just about facing a couple of good balls, hitting that middle, like just timing the balls, just sweetly. And I think that's been difficult to do at the moment. Both of them have struggled doing that. But when you're playing at such a top level and when you're such a qualified player, it does not take too long to actually get back into form and rhythm. And if you're going to shuffle that batting order and try to make changes at the last moment, it's just going to affect that whole team balance, which is something that you don't want to do. This team has won 4 out of 4. They've not lost 2 or 3 games. If we had lost to suppose if we had lost a couple of games, then maybe we could have probably said, okay, this has to be done, this change can be made. But we won all the games, so why change anything? All right, these two haven't performed. They will perform. You got to back them.
And
Yep.
also, Gargi, if you actually
Yeah.
see, Sky at number 4 has just started performing, right? So now, if you suddenly change Sky's batting order as well, because if you have to bring Kohli down to 3, then you have to get Pant at 4. Because if you get Sky at 4, which means again that three righties back to back, and that equation is coming. So then again, Pant goes to 5, and there's a lot of changes then. I think
Exactly.
it's a good idea. Just keep them as openers. But I think somebody has to, like Rahul Dravid, has to go and speak to Rohit Sharma and say, yes, probably you have to be the aggressive partner, but you don't need to go mad over that aggression. Like, it's not your business to thump every ball out of the park. You can still play proper cricket. I mean, come on, the six that Rohit Sharma hit against Shaheen Afridi had class written all over it. A batter who can hit
Yeah.
that shot doesn't need to experiment much, doesn't need to play that kind of a shot against Fazal Haq Faruqi. So I think, to be honest, it's sad that we are saying this about two of the best batters, and not only India's best batters, these are globally best batters. But I think Rohit and Kohli have to be themselves and not try to be somebody else. And that is where, they're gonna be just fine.
But Gagi, let me also tell you this, that
Yeah.
as we're moving ahead in the competition, we're going to face Australia and then maybe reach the semi-finals as well. We're going to face better teams, so it's high time. Even though we keep saying that we have to back them, which we have to do, but it's also high time for these two batters to actually get some runs. Because if you're not able to build a partnership in that semi-final, if you're not able to build a partnership against Australia, how often can you expect Surya Kumar Yadav or a Rishabh Pant to rescue their innings? So it's going to get harder, and these two will have to step up the game. That's the only way this team will actually progress and maybe reach the finals as well.
Absolutely, and finally to get to what's that saying? To hammer the nail on the head. Is that
They hit the
whatever?
nail on the
To hit the nail on the head. Let's
hammer the nail
let's.
on the head.
I don't
Hit the
know.
nail on the
That
coffin.
sounds too aggressive.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
But
well.
anyway, let's talk about Sanju Samson finally. I think we've built up enough. Now it's time to get to the real point of the discussion, which is now that Sanju Samson showed up for this optional practice session. Does this hint at him replacing Shivam Dube? Trisha, I want to know what you think about this. Do you think this will be a good decision or a decision that is needed right now?
Absolutely. I think you have to try out someone. And since Rinku Singh is not there, your best way to go to is Sanju Samson, because the other batter who is sitting out is an opener in Jaiswal. You cannot suddenly send Jaiswal at 5 and say, Kar lo abhi, jo karna hai karo, nahi karna hai mat karo. So you can't do that. So obviously, I think what you have to do is get in Samson. And Samson, the best part of getting Sanju Samson is, if there is a early wicket, you can also send Samson at number 3 and ask him to play that anchorish role. Also, we have to remember that next match is Bangladesh, but the next to next match is Australia, and we, for our own selves, for our own moral, our own confidence, we have to defeat them. Otherwise, I don't know. Otherwise, I just feel the team going into semi-finals, having been defeated by Australia again. So it could just be on in the mind, because come on, they'll face Australia in the final or semis. Somewhere they'll face Australia again. In the semis they can't, but Australia is Australia. High chances they'll face a Australia or England. One of those will be in the semis, and the other will be in the final. So I think it's very important for India right now to get their combination right, in the sense, let the openers be common, let the openers be confirmed, and let them play around with the rest of the batting order. It's just fine. This is what Samson
Absolutely.
does. Dube will not provide you with that flexibility.
Ishan, your thoughts? Do you think the Indian team needs to make that change right now? Do you think Dube needs to go out in order for India to see more success at this World Cup?
To be honest, yes, Gagi. He was brought into the side because of his IPL dominance. He's known to be a big hitter, but we haven't seen much of it at the moment. When you're playing a team like Bangladesh, it's a perfect time to get in Sanju Samson. Not saying that Bangladesh is not a side that can beat India. Any team can beat any team on a given day. But at the moment, Sanju Samson getting into the side against Bangladesh will be the perfect time for him to even set himself up when they're moving ahead against Australia, when they're moving to that semi-final as well. So Shivam Dube has not performed. He's been given an opportunity. He's been given 4 games to perform. He's not really lived up to expectation, and it's about time. You have quality in that dugout as well. You have Sanju Samson. You have a few other players as well who haven't made the cut. So obviously, when you have been given that opportunity and you can't live up to that expectation, there's not much you can do. So I feel Sanju Samson coming into the side will really help this team. He's had a good IPL. He's done well for Rajasthan Royals. He's captained the team well as well. So that cricketing brain will also work on that field. He's also a great fielder. So in my opinion, he's actually overpowering Dube's qualities by every margin. So I don't see why he shouldn't be playing.
Absolutely. And now I think it's time for us to get some comments in and interact with our viewers as well. Muthu VMR here is saying, any signs of Siraj replacing Arshdeep? Do you think Siraj needs
But
replacing?
but
Arshdeep
why?
needs replacing.
Yeah, that's exactly my question. Why would you replace Arshdeep all of a sudden? What has he
Yeah,
done
I don't
wrong,
think I would.
Muthu? Why don't you like Arshdeep, Muthu? Why? I want to know you don't like Arshdeep.
Yeah, he picked up
Because
3 wickets last game.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly. That's why I'm
sports.
asking.
Yeah, sports fan here is saying we had Rinku who was well versed with the finishing role. Now we are experimenting with Dube or Sanju at 5 in the middle of World Cup. What do you have to say about that, Ishan?
Yes, this is why the whole debate had started. When Shivam Dube was picked ahead of Rinku Singh, there were a lot of questions being raised that why Shivam Dube, because he had a great IPL, but a lot of fans and a lot of possibly critics as well supported that Rinku Singh should actually be on the side. And maybe now we can possibly say that yes, possibly Rinku Singh should have stayed. Rinku Singh should have taken Shivam Dube's place. Because of that, because of Rinku not being there, because of Shivam Dube not having the best T20 World Cup, we're going to start experimenting with Sanju Samson. Yes, it's pretty unfair. It's not worked out in the best way possible, but this is what it is. I think that decision was already made, Gagi, when they said that Shivam Dube will be part of the squad and not Rinku Singh. So we can't do much about it now. All we can do is hope that Sanju Samson has a good World Cup.
Yeah, I think when I look back on this team selection, it seems like Rinku Singh was always taken as a backup and not as a main player in the team. I think that's what the Indian strategy was.
But if I had to ask you, what did you think at that time? Did you think that if you had an option between Shivam Dube and Rinku Singh, were you happy that Shivam Dube was in? Or would you still
Yeah,
prefer Rinku Singh? Yeah?
I was because Shivam Dube gives you that bowling. No, that's the only reason. Otherwise, we all know what Rinku Singh can do at
Yes.
the end. But
Yeah.
because you get an extra bowling option, I thought,
Much also in this World Cup. So that says a lot, in my opinion.
yeah. Shriyansh Jain here is asking, did Rinku come to practice? I don't think he came to
No,
this practice, did he?
he didn't come to this practice. No. No, Shreya.
Yeah. Aneet Sadhu. Ishan Bhai, can Mama Uncle India
Same question.
give sweet banana tree? What? I don't understand this.
He's basically saying that last time I think the Bangladeshis had, you know, mocked the Indian team after beating them. So
Ah, let's see what happens because India Bangladesh is always such a more
yeah,
rivalry off the field than on field. I think.
yes. But Gagi, I feel we're taking this Bangladesh team quite lightly. All of us are saying that India is going to go thrash this team, but you never know. Bangladesh as well can possibly pull off an upset. Who knows? At the end of the day, it can be anybody's game.
I know we were thinking, now I'm quite positive about the Indian team because I
Yeah,
thought if there's any team who could like beat India at this point was Afghanistan because of their X factors and the way that they play. But since
that's true.
India cruised past Afghanistan, I think maybe we have this in the bag. I don't know how far they're going to go. I don't know if this guarantees us a final or not, but I think it's good going for now. I don't think India is going to lose to Bangladesh. At least we should hope not. If that happens, that would quite cause quite a stir, huh?
Yes.
Okay. So Hardik Media. Is Hardik also practicing in the nets? I think we should hear this update from Hardik Media only, na? But,
Hardik
but
wasn't.
Hardik wasn't in this. When was the last time Hardik practiced actually?
Hardik Pandya, I think it's been a last to last practice session. He wasn't there before this as well. The last to last. Yeah.
I think Debashish or someone was telling us that Hardik is actually trying. I mean, it's a deliberate
Yeah.
what do you call it, decision to not practice too much because injuries and all.
Yeah, I don't
You
think
have
they want to overload him so much as well because he's
Yeah,
batting, he's also bowling pretty well now. So saving him up for the matches.
absolutely. And Swapnil, see what Swapnil is saying. ईशान भाई जरा नाइट लाइफ और बीच भी एंजॉय कर लो और वीडियो भेजो, तुम्हें देख के हम खुश हो ले जरा.
अरे डन स्वप्निल भाई, डन डन। मैं काम करता हूँ, मैं डेफिनेटली नाइट क्लब जाता हूँ और सारे वीडियोस आपको भेजता हूँ, एडिट करके मुझे वापस भेज देना, ठीक है?
आप एक एक वीडियो नाइट क्लब में ही बना लो, क्रिकेट वाला.
थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा वो, बट वी कैन स्टिल ट्राई।
Yeah, okay. So Muthu's actually explained why he doesn't want Arshdeep in the team. He says Arshdeep tends to leak runs, so maybe Siraj better at power play and has better control than Arshdeep. Though not much difference between them. But don't you think Arshdeep has quite a lot of control in the death overs?
That's true. That's true. But Muthu makes a point by saying that he has leaked some runs, but he's also gotten wickets, and you would prefer a left arm, right arm sort of bowling combination as well. Ashdeep hasn't done something so wrong that he should be dropped, in my opinion. So it's like I understand what you're saying. He can be more. He can possibly save some more runs, but dropping him right now is not the way to go.
Yeah, Trisha. So Muthu here was just explaining. Remember that comment? Will Siraj be replacing Arshdeep? So he was explaining why he doesn't want Arshdeep. Arshdeep tends to leak runs, so maybe Siraj is better at power play and has better control than Arshdeep. But my counterpoint was that Arshdeep is better in the death overs. What about you? We can't hear you, Trisha. We can only see you and not hear you. Can you possibly switch to sign language? You rejoin and I'll talk to myself because Ishan is also not here. But we'll take some of those questions. Oh wow, Ishan, it looks like you have a cap on your head with that palm tree. But let's take a few more questions. Swapnil Mukherjee, क्रिकेट फील्ड सब धोखा है, यूरोप और कोपा देख लो, मौका है. Brownie points for rhyming this comment, whatever this was. But let's take a few more questions. I have been left alone by both Trisha and Ishan. We'll have to wait for them to get back because I can't have a conversation with myself unless you guys send me a lot of questions which I can answer. Then only I can do anything. But let's see. Sports fan here is saying Bangladesh have always come closer to beating India, but they collapse at crucial moments. Yes, I think that's a fair point, and I think that's something that happens with a lot of underdog teams because they're not used to taking that sort of pressure, or I don't know what it happens, but I think it must be some sort of mentality because when you see the top teams like India, I would place much lower. But if you look at, let's say, Australia, because winning is such a mindset, winning is such a habit that some players, some teams just do it better, just do not crumble under pressure. They do not, take stress in these situations and execute their plans perfectly. I think a lot of teams are not able to do that, especially younger teams or
Guys, can
associate
you hear
teams.
me?
There's a difference. Yes, I can. I've been having a conversation with myself for the past 1 minute.
This is
Uh,
your life.
but I was explaining to all our viewers that sports fan. I was answering this question. Bangladesh have always come closer to beating India, but they collapse at crucial moments. And my point was it has a lot to do with mentality also because you see this doesn't happen with the top teams. It doesn't usually happen with the top team. It's almost like it's a habit or it's a mentality, something that is practiced or
I'll tell
trained.
you. Sorry, can I tell you something interesting?
Yeah.
I think when Nushil Al Qadir, a name Gargi and I are extremely familiar with, but I don't know, Ishan, how much you have heard about Nushil Al Qadir. In one of the conversations, I think I had taken her interview because she had done
Okay.
very well with the Chhattisgarh team as a coach. So I was talking to her and I asked her, "What did you change?
Hmm.
In the team? What
Yeah.
what changed? What is the biggest change you would say?" And she said, you know what, Trisha, the biggest change that I brought on was the fact that I made them believe that they can beat any team on a given day. If you play better cricket, you can beat any team. There is nothing called underdogs. There is nothing called on paper, yes, maybe the other team is stronger than you, but you have to believe it. And sports fan, I completely agree with Gargi that Bangladesh's biggest problem has been when they come extremely close to beating a team, they suddenly you have to seize those crucial moments, but instead of that, they almost feel like, oh, we are the underdog team. We deserve the consolation prize, because he'll go back home and say we played well, we came close to beating a big team. The day they cross that mindset, and the day they believe that, oh yes, we can beat the big teams, because they have, at one point they have beaten Sri Lanka, they have beaten India, they have beaten bigger names, so they can do it. And on a good Shakib Al Hasan day, oh my god, he's still one of the best all-rounders in the world, right, Ishan?
Absolutely, Trisha. I completely agree with you. I think it's more of that mental barrier. Both these sides have quality players. When you're playing international cricket, when you're playing at such a high level, but the Bangladeshi players as well have a lot of quality. And, I completely agree with Trisha here. That it's just that mental barrier that they have to break. I think it's more about believing that we can beat India. It's more about believing that, we're two individuals. If it's Shakib versus Rohit, it's the same quality. I'm here to play, he's here to play. There's it's basically to level that playing field. You can't be overhauled with a big personality like Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma. You have to understand that both of you all are here to play, and both these teams are here to play and win. So I think that's the biggest thing that they have to do. And the problem with them, like you said, they come close, but they can't see it through, is because maybe initially they feel that we have nothing to lose, and when they start arriving at that final stage of winning, then they think, okay, maybe now we can't lose this game, and we're almost here, and that pressure maybe gets to them. So I think that attitude of nothing to lose at time works, but it's important to take it all the way through and not choke at the very end.
And one comment that I want to take here, Trisha, why have you left? Okay, we'll take this comment later. So,
Okay.
oh, all right, all right, all right. Mama ke Bangla dekho. That won't. I don't know what this means. Puthu VMR is saying when with Boriada, it's like you guys are obedient in front of a headmaster, and without him, you guys are more khula khula and fun. I think we're like this only, na?
Yeah, we are like this. We are like this. Muthu, what are you talking about? Come on. Don't.
We're just as mad in front of him also.
Yes, yes, we are. Definitely are.
Yes, but final few questions before we call it a day.
Yeah.
Uh, go heading into this match, Ishan. Bangladesh, obviously, you don't want to underestimate them, but again, it is Bangladesh and India. So India is anyway better than this team. So what are you looking forward to in this match? Do you think it's a one-sided match?
To be honest, I won't say it's a one-sided match. I think a lot of us are probably disregarding that Bangladesh is a good team as well. They can put up a fight. Obviously, Indians are much ahead of them when it comes to this game. They will go in as they will go in as favorites, but saying that Bangladesh is completely disregarded is not the way to think. It's not the way to go about it. I feel, Yagi. I think both these sides are good enough, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm expecting Sanju Samson to play. I hope he plays as well. He's been waiting around for a long time. He's not gotten too many opportunities. Maybe he's not made the best use out of those opportunities as well. But I'm hoping that he goes on and has a good World Cup, gets a game against Bangladesh, and I hope that the Indian team continue on winning.
Absolutely. And Swapnil here is saying, Muthu bhai, facts mat bolo yaar.
Bye.
Mayank Madan, is Sanju playing tomorrow? Can't play Dube for these many
Yes.
games. I think
Yes,
everyone
ma'am.
seems
Yeah.
to agree at this point.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because Shivam Dube has had his share of chances, and at one point you have to think about the greater good or the what's better for the team. So I think everyone's agreeing on the fact that Sanju should be playing, or either get Sanju or get Yashashvi, whatever works better. Okay, Siddharth, do you guys agree Bangladesh is least enterprising? Enterprise. enterprising team of the tournament. Watching their batters and bowlers is a total snooze fest. Trisha, sorry. Also,
Uh,
before you take this question, look at this.
with when Boryada with Boryada, it's like you are obedient in front of headmaster, and without him, you guys are more खुला and fun. मुथु मन की बात है, किसी को बताना नहीं है, ठीक है? ये तुम समझ गए हमारा सीक्रेट? हाँ, एग्जैक्टली, स्वप्निल इज करेक्ट. मुथु भाई, फैक्ट्स मत बोलो यार, मत करो ऐसे. um you know
Back to
what,
this.
Gargi, I kind of do not completely agree with Siddharth. If you were to ask me if they're the weaker team in Super 8, probably I would say yes. I would actually kind of rate USA a little. मन की बात को सिर्फ मोदी जी बोलेगा, करेक्ट. उनको बोलने दो. I think, but when Shakib gets going, I think the problem with Bangladesh is they're extremely Shakib dependent even after so many years. So if Shakib gets going, it's interesting to see the match. Otherwise, it's a crappy match. So I half agree with Siddharth and half I don't.
Okay, all right. And final question to you both. I already asked this to Ishan, but Trisha, heading into this match, do you think it's going to be a one-sided affair?
India Bangladesh?
Yeah.
I hope not, because it's
But
the Super 8.
Afghanistan also turned out to be.
Afghanistan for the first 10 overs was an interesting match, and then the mindset came in. Afghanistan couldn't believe that they had India under wraps with Rohit and Kohli. Disagree with everyone and watch Euro and Copa. Well, the underscore boys. See, the thing with Rev Sports people is we are a team of nuts. No, we are humans, but people who are mad. Trisha ma'am, not weaker, I said. Snooze fest. Yes, I know, but I'm saying weaker. Siddharth, I'm not saying you said weaker. I'm saying they are the weaker team. We watch Euro, we watch the World Cup, we watch Copa, we watch everything. Now, don't ask us when we sleep, because then we have to show you pictures of Shopnil sleeping on our office floor, on our studio floor. But Gargi, it depends. If Bangladesh comes out and believes that they do not need to do anything but play good cricket, because they also have a very good bowler in Mustafizur. We can't count him out. He's also a left arm pacer, and Rohit has been getting out to left arm pacers. The Indian opening partnership has not worked, so there are many chinks in our armor which they can use, provided they believe that they can use. If they come, मामा को सुपर चैट करके इधर आया, तो हमें भी सुपर चैट कर दो, शाग्निक. Shagnik, show some love to Gargi, Ishan, and me as well. Especially Ishan, who has not partied even a single day in West Indies, in a colorful country like West Indies, because he's bringing in the super visuals and stories from West Indies. But again, getting back, Gargi, I think if they're bowlers, because they have Mustafizur, who's experienced, they have a Shakib who's experienced, their batting is not that bad as well. But again, it all depends on the mindset. Like, how does Bangladesh come out? Because a team like Bangladesh, it's almost like whether the good Bangladesh will turn out or the bad Bangladesh. If the bad Bangladesh turns out, then maybe by 10:30 or 11 we will be back home. So yes, ICC could, BCCI could. What does it even mean?
I don't know what this means. People in the back end have got to chill. They're taking him. Okay.
Yeah, Swapnil, calm down.
No
You need to
less.
calm down.
Swapnil, I will take away your privileges.
No, but Ishma, I wanted to ask something, because when we were chatting, there was a lot of wind. Like, we can hear a lot of wind.
There's still a lot of it, yes.
So do you think that will be helping the Pacers?
Definitely, I think if this wind remains and if it's as strong as it is right now, then we can expect a lot of swing. So that's why I think someone like Arshdeep will be extremely useful. He tends to swing the ball as well initially as well. So I think leaving out Arshdeep makes no sense. At the same time, yes, Mohammad Siraj can also swing the ball, but again, Arshdeep Singh has delivered for your team. He's maybe leaked some runs, but yeah, definitely we can expect some swing here. And Bumrah with the new ball will again be a menace for sure.
Yes,
Absolutely. And
absolutely. Oh, sorry.
yeah, Trisha, I think should we take a leave?
Leave?
Should we should we take our leave?
Yes, Ragni, খেলা হবে কালকে তো ওপার you know what, Gargi, actually you don't know how to set up this match because you're actually not understanding the significance of India and Bangladesh.
I know
It's
the
called
Machli, I
Opar
know,
Bangla
Baba.
versus Opar Bangla, right guys? So yes, খেলা হবে।
Yeah.
नागिन डांस देखने को मिलेगा क्या? अगर नागिन डांस देखने को मिला तो इसका मतलब बांग्लादेश has won, which is not a very good thing for us, especially because our next match is Australia. You know what, Karki? Actually, I want to ask this question to you. We have one, আরে বাংলাদেশ প্লেয়াররা জেতা বলে, ও বাংলাদেশ প্লেয়াররা জেতা বলে, okay, got your point, the boys. Gargi, my question to you is, so while we are talking about the Bangladesh game, like it will seal the semi-final spot for us if we win tomorrow's game. But there's a flip
Mhm.
side as well, that you want to do the experiments, thinking that okay, we already have one step towards the semi-finals, but
Yeah.
this is cricket. One two experiments, they come back to bite you, and you lose the match. Next is Australia, and you never know, suddenly you are in a do or die situation against the best T20 team in the world.
Like you said, Trisha, it's cricket. These things will happen. You can never predict anything at any point. And, it's all about, like I said, the question that I was asking you yesterday before the match is that you will you play your playing 11, best playing 11, or will you, constantly be under the pressure or be under the nervousness, or let's say anxiety of what conditions, what ye pitch, ye wo. That's not something you have to do. Ultimately, you have to trust in your playing 11 and trust that you execute your plans, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. And even if it's not, it doesn't come down to that. It all only matters what those 11 players do on the field at that point and do what is required of them. That's all. It's all about situational awareness and how they turn that match around. So, do or die or whatever. I think India should just stick with their best playing 11 right now, whatever that may be. Just take one, stick to it.
Yeah, I
What
think
does this mean? Can someone explain this in cricket terms?
football, junkie explained this to us. Ancelotti team, I'm not 100% sure. Pep team, I know, of course, they are talking about Pep Guardiola, who's a
Mhm.
fantastic coach, and Man City has won the treble under him, if I'm not wrong. So that part I understand, but I'm guessing. Let's just guess that Siddharth means that we are not good enough without Boria Majumdar, which is fine. He's the captain of the ship, and we are learning from the best. So we have a lot to learn from Pep, and we have a lot to learn from Boria Majumdar. But glad, Siddharth, that you still join and motivate us uh, to do better. Ishan, you are in Barbados. You are the man. Huh? Ishan left. Oh, I thought I said you are the man, and Ishan left. Ishan,
I'm here.
closing
Don't
comments
worry.
from
Did you ask me something?
No,
yes.
we
Oh,
forgot
oh,
to.
oh. Sorry, Siddharth has replied to it. Pep plays systematic football, and Ancelotti plays entertaining football. Oh, Siddharth got it.
Oh,
You know what, Siddharth? We can be both at once. There's a method to our madness.
yeah.
Really, Gargi, there's a method to our madness.
Yes,
I think it's just
absolutely.
madness.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't.
Ishan, Barbados man. No, the Indian man in Barbados. I mean, come on, end the show for us in a very Caribbean mode. You know.
In a very Caribbean mode. All right. So, everyone watching is going to be a cracker, man. It's Bangladesh taking on India, man, and it's going to be a cracker. You don't know what's going to happen, man. Don't take Bangladesh lightly. This team can put up a fight, but as we know, the Indians are really strong. We got Virat Kohli, we got Rohit Sharma, we got Jasprit Boom Boom Boomrah. So it's all India all the way, but who knows? At the end of the day, anything can happen. Enjoy the game, man. Enjoy the game. We'll see you tomorrow.
I
See you
cannot
tomorrow.
add anything better to this. That was excellent. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Have a good night. Have a good day, Ishan.